All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome here today to another edition of NASCAR Heat 5 Championship Mode. It is the O'Reilly Auto Parts 300 for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. It is race number 2 of the round of 8 for the Xfinity Series side. We were originally supposed to run NASCAR Thunder 2004, and we were supposed to start that stream a half hour ago. I was running practice, and then after about 4 laps of practice, I had an issue with my controller. The analog stick kept sticking to the right, and so I'd be like going down a straightaway, and the car would turn hard right into the wall every time. And it took me a couple laps to realize what the heck was going on. And when I went to I backed completely out of the racetrack, and after I backed completely out of the racetrack, I went to a menu screen that I was able to actually move to the right with the analog stick, and it just kept sliding to the right. And I would fix it, or at least maybe not the correct way to fix it, but I'd get it to the point where it stopped doing that. And then as soon as I went back into the racetrack and went back into practice after a couple laps, it would just be doing it again. So I got through qualifying, and the one qualifying lap, I actually did qualify on the pole and run a clean lap. And then I went right back into happy hour just to test it one more time because I had the setup for the race and everything by that point. And it just kept happening. So I didn't want to run that risk of DNFing because of my controller jamming on me. So I instantly bought 2 more controllers on Amazon. Not 1, but 2 just to be safe. So I have 2 controllers coming on the way. They'll be here on Thursday. So assuming what time they come in on Thursday, we'll go back to NASCAR Thunder 04 on Thursday and switch the streams we were supposed to have tonight and tomorrow night. We're supposed to run the Richmond full race live stream on NASCAR Thunder 04 tonight. And then we're going to run the All-Star race tomorrow night. Because the controller won't come in until Thursday, we'll probably end up running the Richmond race on Thursday, the All-Star race on Friday. So we'll have NASCAR Heat 5 for the next couple nights. Texas, Xfinity today, Truck Series at Martinsville tomorrow, and then Xfinity at Martinsville on Wednesday. So 3 straight days of NASCAR Heat 5 on the channel here as we get down towards the end of things. Late in the season. Joshua Rumsey, welcome to the stream here early on. Just 1 viewer so far, but thanks for everybody tuning in. Hopefully you guys understand, which again, I could have ran the race, but I didn't think I was going to make it out of the first 10 to 20 laps, honestly, with the way the controller was acting up on me. Andrew Hollenbach, welcome to the stream as well. All right, we're about to get started here today. Dale Jr. qualified 15th for today's race. Looks like he'll be starting 14th because we have 1 driver going to the rear. I did practice for today's race as well. Fastest lap in practice was 29.995. That is blistering fast for an Xfinity car on a mile and a half. And our qualifying time was a little bit below that, 30.007, but we'll have to see how things are going to go here today, to say the least. Before we get into today's race, we are going to take a look at the point standings. We do know Dale Earnhardt Jr. is already locked in. Yes, Dale Jr. is locked in to the Championship 4 as it states. He was able to go off and win in dominating fashion at Kansas last week. So here is a quick look. Here is a quick look at the point standings coming into today's race. Going to start things off right here. 16 points above the playoff cutoff line. Second in the standings right now is Harrison Burton. Then you got Chase Briscoe, 15 points above the cutoff line. And the final driver above the cutoff line is Austin Cindric. Currently, he's 11 points above. First driver outside the playoff cut line coming into tonight's race is Michael Annett. Annett is 11 points behind. Noah Gragson is 13 points behind, 6th in points coming into the race. Then 21 points behind is Justin Allgaier, and the last driver of the 8 currently is Ross Chastain. He is 24 points below the cutoff line. So they're going to need a good night tonight, so that way hopefully they're not in a must-win situation going into Martinsville on Wednesday. Chris George, welcome to the stream. Ready for Civil War 2021 next week? No, I am not. I do not want to partake in any sort of war, whether it is in or inside the country. I will not make it out alive. I'm flat-footed and I'm colorblind. I am not made for war. All right, without further ado, we're going to hop on into this. Using the steering wheel, this is going to be the final time we're going to use the steering wheel for these full race live streams. We only got Martinsville and Phoenix left for all 3 series. Justin Haley will be starting at the rear, so is Cesar Baccarella. Your front row will be Daniel Hemrick and Chase Briscoe will be starting on the front row here for tonight's race. Call 24, welcome to the stream as well. Green flag is in the air here under the lights at Texas Motor Speedway. 200 laps, 300 miles set for tonight's race. We saw an awesome race in the Cup Series here at Texas last week. We'll see what we'll have here this week in today's race. And quickly, contact, turn one, lap one. Big save by Matt Mills. He checked up in the center of 1 and 2 on the initial start, right in front of Dale Jr. And somehow, some way, after Jr. made contact with him, now he accidentally got into the back of Riley Herbst as well, and Herbst makes the save. So a couple accidental contacts with multiple cars in multiple corners on the opening lap of the race for Jr. Everybody stays green, and Briscoe leads lap 1. Jr. just keeps running right into the back of these guys, giving Harrison Burton a shot right there. Jr.'s almost rolling a little faster than what I think he anticipated. Jr. underneath. Jeremy Clements for position. Pole sitter, Daniel Hemrick quickly fading back. He is right in front of Dale Jr. Jr. trying to get a run. 3 wide up the middle through 1 and 2 goes Jr. in between the 8 and the 20. Burton had a huge run on the outside. Jr. does get by Hemrick for 8th. Harrison Burton up to 7th. So again, for those of you tuning in, we are not doing Thunder 04 tonight. Meanwhile, by the way, Michael Annette just took the lead at the line. Lap 4 now. And Briscoe's right behind him in 2nd. But we are not doing Thunder 04 tonight. Kind of a last-minute decision. My controller was sticking. The analog stick was wanting to turn the car to the right pretty much at various points around the racetrack. All of a sudden, it wasn't consistent at all either, so there was like no real way to fix it. So I quickly hopped on Amazon. I ordered 2 more PS2 controllers. They'll be coming in on Thursday, so we'll go back to NASCAR Thunder 04 on Thursday. I didn't want to run a full race with a sticky controller because we probably wouldn't have even made it to the end of the race. So unfortunately, that was kind of rescheduled and scrapped tonight. So we'll be running NASCAR Heat 5 both tonight and tomorrow when we were scheduled to run Thunder 04. And then the Richmond Thunder 04 race will be Thursday. The All-Star race will be rescheduled for Friday on NASCAR Thunder 04. Five laps complete in this race. Michael Annette slowly starting to pull away. Heck of a start for him. He comes into this race, as mentioned, 5th in the point standings. He's the first driver below the cutoff line, 11 points below. But if he can go on to win tonight's race, he won't even have to worry about what goes down at Martinsville. He, along with his teammate Dale Jr., will be the first 2 drivers that will be in the Championship 4. 80-22, welcome to the stream as I just clipped the grass down the front stretch there. Jr. got a little loose off of turn 4. Not the major, though. Long time no see, but welcome back, man. Also, if the camera might be a little shaky and not as clear as what you've seen the last couple streams, because of scrapping the Thunder 04 stream, I stream through my PS2 through OBS, and then I use the Elgato application on my PC to stream NASCAR Heat 5 off my PS4. And I don't know exactly how to work the camcorder and use that as a camera instead of my laptop webcam for the Elgato yet. And I didn't have enough time to figure it out tonight either because I had less than a half-hour decision to run this race. So I wanted to quickly get into practice and everything. So that's why my camera itself probably isn't as clear as what you've seen for about the last week when we've been using NASCAR Thunder 04. That would be, again, because I use my camcorder for that, and I'm not using it tonight, unfortunately. So hopefully if I get off, well, I'm not getting off of work till 3:30 tomorrow, so I might not be able to use it for tomorrow's stream as well, but we'll see for Wednesday. Maybe I can get working on it partially tomorrow to try and figure it out, but no guarantees for that. Been a heck of a day, too. Also want to state the career mode video that came out earlier today was not supposed to be a two-parter. I had to leave like in the middle of recording it. My sister was home and she had to leave for work, and her car wouldn't start. Her battery was dead. She accidentally left her lights on, and I guess the lights were on, so it kind of drained the battery. So she had to take my car to work, but she was parked behind me, so we had to push her car out, and I was kind of like in a rush to do it. So instead of pausing the recording on the Elgato application, I hit stop recording, and it was in two separate videos, and I didn't know how to merge it together. I was on YouTube for like an hour trying to figure out how to like merge two videos together on that application. I couldn't figure it out, and I don't have like a flash drive on me to like download it and then try to, you know, put it on another application to try and merge it. So I couldn't merge it. That's why it was a two-parter today, and I was able to kind of cut out the situation where she like came up running into my room like, oh, I need to use your car and stuff. I was like, wait, what? So I had to cut that stuff out too. So that's why there's probably like 5 laps missing out of the race as well on the career mode episode. But that was kind of my busy day off of work, I guess. It's been a wild day in the last 24 hours in the Keegan Schneider household. Chiefs play the Browns this week. Yeah, I'll tell you what, man, the Browns, I was not expecting that last night. Living in Northwest Ohio, knowing how many Browns fans there are around me, I couldn't imagine like what Buffalo Wild Wings was like 10 miles away from me. I mean, that place is probably hopping. Especially, I mean, I know we, like in the state of Ohio, I don't know if we still have the curfew or not, but when we did, we were closing like restaurants and stuff at like 9:30 so like people can get home by 10 o'clock because of COVID. But with that game starting at like 8:15 last night, you know, I guarantee there were people watching at least the first half at B-Dubs last night, and any other bar, you know, anywhere in the state really. And there's actually a lot of Steelers fans too that live in my area, at least in the small town I live in. So it was a pretty big game locally for that to be a playoff game too, and that was just insane. Nobody was expecting that kind of a game last night, especially at the very beginning. Everything that could go wrong went wrong for Pittsburgh, and basically the game fell right into the lap of Cleveland, and they almost let them back in the game, but they were able to seal the deal one way or another. Yeah, Titans unfortunately couldn't pull it off yesterday. I was streaming yesterday during that game. I only saw like the last maybe 7 or 8 minutes of the game, and that was it. Briscoe's falling back to 5th now after leading the opening couple laps. Austin Cindric up to 4th. It looks like Harrison Burton, who started right back with Dale Jr., is up to 3rd. Harrison Burton won this race in the Xfinity Series in real life this year. Part of his 3-win season. He's got 3 wins on this very season as well. Junior definitely doesn't have anywhere near as fast of a car as what he had at Kansas. Remember, he led all but 12 laps that entire race. Just absolutely dominant. Has yet to run in the top 5 so far tonight, but he is closing in on Briscoe finally. 45 laps in Stage 1, 45 laps in Stage 2. Final stage will be made up of 110 laps to finish this thing off. Junior's car is definitely loose off of Turn 4, much like Blaney's was at the beginning of the Texas Cup race. Contact going into Turn 1 between Junior and Briscoe. Junior was just underneath them going into the corner. Junior almost kind of straightened him out in the center of the corner as well. Burton got held up behind a lap car, so all of a sudden Junior's up to 4th. My goodness. So Junior just snuck underneath Briscoe going into Turn 1. I don't think Briscoe knew he was there, and just kind of cut down in front of him, and he just about turned himself off Junior's right front. But he was just able to keep it going. And now Burton caught behind a lap car of Mike Harmon, and Dale Jr. is close to the back bumper of Harrison Burton into Turn 3. Ryan Sieg running in 2nd right now. we have somebody up in smoke on pit road, and I think it was Ross Chastain. So huge championship implications early on for Ross Chastain. Up in smoke with a problem. He is on pit road. He came into this race 24 points below the cutoff line, and now likely going to put himself in a must-win situation going into Martinsville if he can't get that car back on the racetrack in the next couple laps. Crazy start to the race here today. Remember, we saw 3 Cup drivers in the round of 8 that DNF'd in their 500-mile Texas race just 3 nights ago. So what's going to happen here in this Xfinity race tonight? So far, one of them is already looking like they're either going to fail to finish, or if not, have a very poor finish if, again, Chastain can't get back on the track soon. I think I did see something about that, AD, a couple days ago. And I'll tell you what, Ryan Sieg, good for him, because he made the Xfinity playoffs this year. He ran really well. He hasn't won yet, but I mean, he has just like consistently been getting better over the last 3 or 4 years, and pretty much underfunded equipment too. That team as a whole has just been getting a little bit faster year after year, so it's great to see teams like that grow. Diamond Jeff, welcome to the stream. Oh, he announced it today. I saw something in the news. Well, maybe it was on Eric Estep's channel, because I thought they talked something about Ryan Sieg within the last couple days. And I think they were like, it was kind of like a rumor at that point in time, so I guess it was made official today. Gotcha. I didn't see an official statement, but I thought I heard something about him moving manufacturers on Out of the Groove or something. Again, it was pretty recent. I don't know if it was like before the weekend or something, but I could have swore I saw something on him a couple days ago. Or at least he was talking about it in some scenario there. Sieg caught behind a lap car. Tommy Joe Martins is there. Junior barely keeping it off Sieg, but trying to side draft him as he went up the middle 3 wide. Now he's on the high side in 3 and 4. Sieg with a run on the bottom. Couldn't quite clear Junior. Another lap car of Landon Castle is about to be in the way. Junior to the outside to use Castle as a pick into 1 and 2. So Junior up to second. Just over a half second off his teammate for the race lead now. Chastain did get his car back on the racetrack. So Chastain's no longer out of the race, but he is a couple laps down now. Ooh, Haley almost pinched Junior off down the front stretch. And Junior's all over the back of Michael Annett, looking for the lead to the inside. Annett trying to pinch him. Junior's going to have the advantage as they go into turn 3. Drives it in deep. And Dale Jr. will take the race lead away. And he holds clear off of turn 4 now, and he'll lead his first lap of the race with just 19 laps to go in stage 1. So it took him over half the stage to get to the lead, but he is finally there from the 14th starting position. As his car starts to kick in faster and faster over the longer run. We'll see if that continues throughout the course of the night. And there's Daniel Hemrick now, the next lap car right in front of him. And remember, Hemrick started on the pole. Same team as the top 2 right now as well, of Junior and Michael Annett. They almost made contact down the front stretch, and now they do make contact. It was very tight. Junior had a very awkward angle trying to stay in the gas, and he couldn't quite clear him cleanly. Barely missed each other the first time, but then only to make contact a couple hundred feet further down the front stretch. But luckily we stay green. Both cars stay straight, about as straight as they could be. The Junior keeps rolling. Oh, that's right, yeah. National championship game on tonight. Ohio State. Yeah, man, what a big sports day it is. Like, football is a big thing here in Northwest Ohio, as it is, you know, around most of the country, I'd have to imagine. But You had the Cleveland Browns, Pittsburgh Steelers playoff game last night, and then tonight you got the national championship, because I'm only about 2 hours north of Columbus, too. There's a lot of Ohio State fans. It's like pretty evenly split, honestly, between Ohio State and Michigan fans. That's why, like, this part of the country, when it comes to that game every year, it is real heat, real drama. Like, it's almost more than a football game for that one weekend, but unfortunately they couldn't have that game this year. Even though Michigan probably would have gotten their barn doors blown off, but... And I'm a Michigan fan, by the way, so... I can almost guarantee that would have happened, but even still, though, nice to have the family over at the house. Get all the snack foods out and watch the big game. It's almost like a second Thanksgiving. We used to have like our Thanksgiving with like my dad's side of the family on that Saturday of the Ohio State-Michigan game, because it's always a weekend after Thanksgiving, but fortunately this year it was supposed to be postponed originally like 2 weeks after that. So we were just going to have it 2 weeks after, I guess, but then we had to cancel it because the game got canceled. Team to go on the stage. A lot of guys going a lap down here. David Starr with a good solid run in the beginning of tonight's race as well in that 6 car. He's going to go lap down, but he's in 12. My reaction to Ryan Newman's 500 crash. Yeah, it was definitely scary. that was probably the most scared I have been in a very long time, at least with NASCAR, of seeing a bad accident and them not making it out of the race car under their own power. And just the tone of Fox Sports when they went off the air too was almost eerily similar to when seniors crashed in 500 20 years prior. If you look back at the actual telecast of the end of that race when they were going off the air, it was oddly similar. Trying to still give the credit to the winner, but taking a serious note that there's a guy critically injured as well. We all saw what happened, obviously. No, I can remember that night after the race, because they were very quiet about it too, which credit to Newman and his family. Obviously they probably wanted it that way, so good for the media kind of keeping it quiet for them too and giving them the space they needed. But I was looking on every website, every news article I could find online that night until I knew that he was okay before I went to bed, because I had work the next morning, and I was up a little late. And then once the news came out that he was in critical condition, but it was not life-threatening, I was able to go to sleep. I went to sleep that night, and I actually, with this year being the opening year of the channel, that's when I started doing the predictions and the post-race analysis for every Cup race. And I'd done it for the Clash and the 2 dual races up to that point. I waited until the next evening after I got off of work to even record, because I wanted to, make sure everything was all right before I gave my opinions on the actual race itself, and then everything with Ryan Newman, because I was in complete shock. So if you even go back and watch that video, you could see I guess my initial reaction to everything that happened, because that was definitely a crazy moment. You hate to see stuff like that happen within the sport, but it's the inevitable. You're racing cars at over 200 miles an hour, especially at Daytona and Talladega, that close to one another. So easy for things to go wrong, and we just kind of take into consideration that these cars are, so safe that nobody could get hurt, and that's just still not the case. Physics always come into play in those kinds of situations. I'm not a Browns or a Steelers fan. I'm a Packers fan when it comes to football. But just living in the area of the country that I do, there's a ton of Browns fans. There's a decent amount of Lions fans too, but it's honestly mostly Browns and Steelers that live around me. Which is weird, because Pittsburgh is 4 hours away. Even Cincinnati's closer, but there's not that many Bengals fans around me. And then Indianapolis is only 4 hours away too, but that's like there's like barely any Colts fans around here as well. It's weird that there's like as many Steelers fans as there are, but a lot of it is probably because they have a pretty recognizable franchise. They've won a lot of championships, so I'm sure that goes into play. Kind of like the Packers do. Packers fans usually travel well. And I've been a fan my whole life because my dad got me a Brett Favre jersey when I was younger, so I've just always rooted for the Packers since I can remember. 13.5 second lead, going on 14 seconds now. The difference between first and second. Dale Jr. with the lead. Michael Annett still in second. Ryan Sieg in third place, about 2 seconds behind Annett. 5 laps to go in stage 1 at the line right there. Junior's right front tire's wearing out quite considerably. It's down to about 11%. Remember, there is a tire limit. And we actually came close to that tire limit in the last race at Kansas, if you remember as well. So Junior's definitely going to have to monitor that, especially starting here late in stage 1. Has to make sure that tire does not blow to the end of the stage, because he does not want to have to pit under green as well to have to change the tires. The only good thing is he's locked into the championship 4. So if something crazy did happen with that tire, he does have to absolutely come down onto pit road. He'll do it, and there won't be as bad of repercussions from it. So many drivers going a lap down right now. It's just insane. Holstead is going to be 2 laps down at stage 1. Still caution-free in this race, too, despite that hectic start. There's Ross Chastain that we already talked about. Remember, he is 2 laps down. He's about to go 3 laps down in this race in 34th because he had blown a tire in the opening 20 laps of the race. And he is going to be in desperation mode to try and get back on the lead lap and at least salvage a decent finish, but he's likely not going to get any stage points at all tonight. And still might end up in a must-win situation going into Martinsville, but we'll have to wait and see. A jail day 23. Jones, welcome to the stream. 3 videos in 1 day. I'd say like 2.5. That career mode video was supposed to be 1, but I already kind of stated both in that video, like midway through it, as well as on the stream tonight, that my sister had car trouble, so I had to like stop recording in the middle of it, and I accidentally hit stop instead of pause, so I had to break it up into 2 videos. That's why the last one was only like 12 minutes, because we were almost at the end of the race. But yeah, so sorry for that, and sorry for the second part uploading before the first. I don't know why that happened. I think that was the YouTube processing error, but they're both uploaded on the channel, so you can check them out whenever you want. So that's another reason why there's probably a lack of editing in that video, too. Jeez. Green, white, checker flag in the air, and Junior just blew his right front tire off of turn 4 as he receives the green and white checker flag. Problems for Dale Jr. He almost made it, and that's why he ended up in the grass and then in the wall as that right front blew right as he was crossing the line. You could see the smoke, and he hit that outside wall pretty hard, too. He'll win stage 1, but at what cost? Ethan, welcome to the stream. I thought he was going to make it, and then he ended up just not making it. So another blown tire for a playoff driver here tonight. 7 seconds worth of damage. So that is not going to be repairable. Junior's going to loosen that car up quite a bit. He's going to put 5% more tape on it. And an air pressure adjustment all the way around. 2 pounds on the right sides, 1 pound on the left sides. Drastic moves on pit road for Dale Jr. Bailey Good, welcome to the stream. So Jr. wins the race off pit road, but how is he going to be here in stage 2 and beyond? Green flag back in the air. I don't really know much about Colby Howard, to be completely honest. I know of him, and that's about it. So, not that I can really recall he's ever been in any sort of good equipment. He's still really young, I think, too. Yeah, I don't really know much about him, I guess, to really give any sort of opinion on my thoughts on him here. Junior's still a little on the tight side. With this damage, Michael Annette's going to take the lead off of turn 2's second lap after the restart. And Ryan C. kind of gave Junior a shot going off into turn 3. It's a little bit darker, but it's not completely dark. I don't think it will be until the start of the final stage. Right. Dale Jr. just about got turned by Cindric. They were 3 wide going into 1. Ray Black Jr. squeezed him, and around goes Cindric. Cindric slides up the racetrack. Caution's out. He couldn't save it as he backs it into the outside wall. First caution of the day. Wow, he's 18. I didn't realize he was that young. Michael Turner, welcome to the stream. So crazy restart there, a couple laps after the fact. Cindric got sandwiched 3 wide between the 0-7 and the 8. No room for him to go, and he just kind of backs it into the outside walls. He couldn't save it. Caution's out for the first time today for incident. Finally, a sane president, welcome to the stream. It is definitely a crazy world we live in today, that is for sure. Michael Annette will lead the field to the green. Junior's been pretty banged up with that race car. You can see the heavy damage on the right side. Green flag back in the air. He got through the shifts beautifully. Harrison Burton got to follow him on the inside as well. Junior goes from 3rd to 1st. And Harrison Burton's about to go from 5th to 2nd. Hopefully Cindric doesn't have too much damage. That is the 3rd playoff driver to already have issues tonight. And Junior's going to try to hang on to the lead on Harrison Burton. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it. Car's pretty banged up. It's a little on the tight side. He has to give up so much more speed in the center of the corners than what he had to before. And here comes Cindric with damage on his race car as well. Cindric to the outside. He'll be looking for the lead. He's currently looking for 2nd on Burton. Ryan Sieg right behind him. And the 2 cars that are heavily damaged are side by side for the lead. Big block off of turn 4 by Junior. They almost crashed again off of turn 4. And Junior barely holds on to the race lead. Cindric lost so much momentum. And now Burton to the inside of Dale Jr. for the lead off of turn 2. Here comes David Starr in the mix, trying to get back on the lead lap. Junior trying to pinch and side draft Burton as he skims on by into turn 3 with the lead. 3 wide now for 3rd. 4 wide in the center of turns 3 and 4. Are they going to make it? I think they will. Still 3 wide down the front stretch. Texas is putting on a show here tonight, as well as the Cup race the other night that we had. Here on NASCAR Heat 5, Junior gets tight up the track in front of Sieg. Both cars check up. Cindric got sandwiched in the middle. Looked like Briscoe had to check up as well. And now all of a sudden, Brandon Jones is trying to get his lap back to the inside of the 20 as well. Again, only the top 7 are on the lead lap. And somehow, only 1 caution tonight. Endless, non-stop action, though, here in this one. Favorite drivers on the flag there behind me. Also, have a picture of his car from the Penske Race Shop. That's the logo, currently at least, of the channel. It's been the, I guess, the logo of the channel since I started it. I really need to get on changing that, honestly. Try to find like an actual like logo that fits for this, but I'm not exactly sure what to go with right now. Darren Dill, welcome to the stream. 31 laps to go in stage 2. 3 wide for the lead now. Michael Annett up the middle between the 19 and the 20. Has to back out of the gas. Burton holds on to the lead. I still don't know how fast Junior... I should say how in the world Junior is running as fast as he is right now with this damage. It's unbelievable. Damage ensued at the end of stage 1. He blew a right front tire right as he was crossing the start-finish line. Compacted the outside wall on the front stretch. He's having major handling problems with that car. Nearly got in not one but 2 major accidents on the restart. Luckily, we had only 1 caution of the 2. And it was for Austin Cindric spinning in turns 1 and 2 and backing it into the outside wall. But outside of that single car incident, it has been a clean but aggressive race so far tonight. And Jones has still been trying to get around Harrison Burton out in front of the field. And Annett is right there. Annett led a lot of laps at the beginning of today's race back in stage 1 as well. Make a logo for me for free. Interested? I'm definitely somewhat interested in that. I'm trying to think of like rebranding the channel though with the name. Like a racing network. Oh, we got trouble! Turns 3 and 4, car in smoke again. Lap car, CJ McLaughlin in the 93. Couple lap cars checked up, as well as a bunch of the lead lap cars checked up as well. Junior closes the gap slightly because of it, but everybody misses him, and McLaughlin was able to get to pit road. We stay green. Not sure why there wasn't a caution there. Probably should have been. Well, honestly, McLaughlin should have been on the apron of the racetrack, to be quite honest, and not right in the racing groove in 3 and 4, but both scenarios did not bring out a caution. So we do stay green. Midway through stage 2 already here tonight. Speaking of editing, by the way, I really need to, like, it's probably going to take a lot of practice for me to actually, like, get solidly good at editing my videos. Man, I don't know what, like, I always have terrible luck. I don't know if it's, like, the software or the applications I'm using to do it, but I got a comment over the last couple videos, like, that sometimes the audio is just, like, too loud some of the time. And, like, I don't have a problem with it until, like, people actually, like, state, you know, what the problem is. And then I'm like, okay, I can kind of see your point. Or, like, you know, the audio just gets scrambled for whatever reason in the processing of trying to upload it onto YouTube. And then I have to, like, delete it and re-edit it after it already uploads. Yeah, it would be, like, the rebranding would probably be, like, in the actual, like, logo name, or, like, on the logo itself, but I'm still going to keep the channel as my name, the way it is now. But I was kind of thinking something along that line, though. Like, almost like Keegan's Racing Network or something like that. Or, yeah, like, you know, Racing Series, NASCAR Series. It's something along those lines. You guys are kind of on the right track already. Because, honestly, like, it's going to be NASCAR-oriented, and it obviously has been up to this point. So, I don't know if I want to go with like NASCAR though, because the only problem with like putting like NASCAR in the title of it would be don't work for NASCAR or something of that nature. So I feel like I'm almost kind of taking their brand name, which I know like there's like the NASCAR Weekly podcast out there. I was kind of wondering the same thing with them too, if they were ever going to get in trouble with it. But honestly, NASCAR seems to be like full on board with what they do, and they're able to get actual drivers to interview on there. So it does kind of work out for it. But if for whatever reason it doesn't work out to that aspect with this channel and getting like the notoriety from it and stuff, I feel like I can come into like problems by putting NASCAR in the name of it. So that's why I was thinking about like racing, channel or network or something like that. If I had more money, I'd definitely hire an editor, that's for sure. Problem is, I don't have that kind of money to do that. I'm not making money off of YouTube yet either. But that's kind of like a long-term goal, though. By getting more subscribers in the long run, and once I actually start getting paid by YouTube, the first amounts of that money is getting the things I need to, have better quality, and, like I just mentioned, like hiring, like, an editor that can help me save time, because I'm still working a full-time job too. And I know most of you guys, if not all of you guys, know that. Junior just makes the pass on Cindric, and he's looking to just send it into 3 and 4 to pass Harrison Burton. Slides up in front of him. And Dale Earnhardt Jr. is up to second place here tonight. A second off the lead with 17 to go in stage 2. Oh boy. I definitely appreciate the support though, by the way. KS12. Ooh boy. Kind of like yours, I guess, AD. Junior is closing that gap on Michael Annett right now for the race lead. Junior barely squeezed under that lap car to get into turn 3, but he is running down the leader. He's got a really big run into 1 and 2. Looking to the outside. Battle for the lead. Late in stage 2. Junior now trying to sidetrack Michael Annett. Really pulls him back down the back straightaway. Both cars driving in hard into turns 3 and 4. Annett hanging it in there on the inside. Junior clear in the center of the quad oval. And Dale Jr. is back out in front here today at Texas. The site of his first career win in the NASCAR Winston Cup Series at the time, back in his rookie season in 2000. He knows how to get around this track, although this place has been reconfigured since then. And Junior gets into the wall, and he bounces into the 44 of Martins. Caution is going to fly with 12 to go in stage 2. Brandon Jones will get back on the lead lap with a free pass. Problems off of turn 4 as Junior just squeezed into the wall again. He's dealing with a tight race car. And it was a little too tight right there, and he bounced it off the wall and ricocheted into the 44 of Martins, who was an innocent bystander and all that. That is a tough break. Junior's got to stay out of the pits here. Kind of brought out the caution, so he doesn't want to pit to have that unfair advantage here. It looks like Ray Black Jr. is going to stay out of the pits as well, trying to gain some track position. Ashton G., welcome to the stream. Might have to loosen this car up a little bit more at the end of the stage. We're going to have 9 laps to go, I believe, here in stage number 2 on this restart. Playoff drivers, almost all but filling out the top 10. A couple drivers here and there are not, like Ray Black Jr. or Ryan C. Green flag back in the air. Jr., who is already locked into the championship 4, still trying to fight for every win he can. He's got 3 races left this season. Obviously, the only time we're going to use him for the Xfinity series on these newer NASCAR games going forward as well. So trying to go out with a bang. And it's been a little bit of an up and down race. Definitely ugly when here in stage 2 at least. Really since the end of stage 1 when he blew that right front tire. 8 laps to go in the stage. Ryan Sieg has jumped up to 2nd place. Michael Annett to 3rd, followed by Briscoe. And Ray Black Jr. just falls outside the top 5 now as Harrison Burton has jumped up to 5th. And here comes Annett on the inside. Sieg on the outside. Annett needs every point he can get. He finished 2nd in stage 1. He's 11 points below the cutoff line coming into the night. And Ryan Sieg is going to take the lead with a pass on the outside off of turn 4. Annett now down to the bottom underneath Junior, who is a sitting duck right now on those older tires and a damaged race car. 3 wide into turn 1. Burton to the outside. Briscoe to the inside. Michael Annett now for the lead to the inside of the 39. And Cindric almost turned Junior off in turn 2 as he got right into the back of him. Harrison Burton now trying to follow Michael Annett right on up through there. And Michael Annett trying to hold off a hungry pack of drivers as the top 5 are all under a blanket. Yeah, that career mode mishap, that was a different circumstance, though. That was a non-racing incident where our controller died and we had damage from it. Little contact there off of turn 4 with his nephew of Jeffrey Earnhardt, who's having a solid run in the top 5 right now as well. Harrison Burton to the lead into turn 1 with 5 to go in stage 2. We have ourselves a race here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Another solid race on hands on the channel, on NASCAR Heat 5, and again at Texas. Hopefully we don't have as ugly of a finish as what we did as far as the cautions go. We were kind of on that pace for a little bit here in stage 2. But hopefully in the final stage things will kind of single out and we'll have a lot longer green flag runs. Welcome back, Bailey. Can Harrison Burton now hold on to win stage 2 and get all 10 points that go along with it? Or will Michael Annett, who's in 2nd place, get back around him? Cindric in 4th, rallying after backing his car into the outside wall on the first caution of the day earlier in the stage, is in 3rd place now as he has just passed Chase Briscoe going into turn 1. Top 4. Any one of those guys can win here tonight and clinch a spot in the championship 4. And they won't have to worry about Martinsville on Wednesday night. Looks like Junior should be able to bring it home in 6th place to the end of the stage. As they race it out about 4.5 to 5 seconds ahead of him now. 2 laps to go on the stage. some of the older sprint car games, I grew up watching dirt racing a lot. There was a World of Outlaw game that I had on the PS3 that was pretty fun. There was some like older PS2 sprint car games too that I can remember that were pretty fun to play as well. I got the Tony Stewart sprint car racing. I still plan on finishing that career mode, although it has been pretty much since NASCAR Heat 5 since we played it. But I do plan on finishing that at some point in time. Green, white, checker flag in the air. Harrison Burton will win Stage 2 by a close margin. Top 5 all finish within a second of each other on a 9-lap dash to the finish here in the stage following that second caution of the night. I would love to play like an IndyCar game if they ever come out with it again, though. I do watch some IndyCar. If they're racing on the same day as NASCAR, I don't watch it, but it's because I'm a diehard NASCAR fan. I can't miss a Cup race. So Junior's going to keep this same setup. He'll have fresh tires now. Not everybody's pitting, though, at the stage break. Harrison Burton, Michael Annett, and Brandon Jones all going to stay out. Jeffrey Earnhardt will get the free pass at ninth. So we'll have 9 cars on the lead lap when we start the final stage of the race. We'll have 107 to go when we go green in the final stage now. And boy, we are going to have a good race on our hands here in this one. Green flag back in the air. Oh boy. Brandon Jones just about pinched Junior off there. Junior just gets underneath him. And Junior to the inside of Harrison Burton. What a restart by Dale Jr. from 7th to 1st. Going into turn 3. Cindric took it really wide down the back straightaway. He'll get to 2nd, and now Junior pushes tight off the exit of the corner. Now a little loose on corner exit. He leads a lap, but it's Austin Cindric who is underneath him looking for the lead into turn 1. Both drivers go in hard. Contact is made. Junior shoves up the racetrack. And he has to lift, and he's still in the wall. And Austin Cindric will take the lead. Side by side for second between Burton and Jones. 3 wide now for second as here comes Briscoe to the inside. Briscoe is trying to hunt down Cindric for the race lead. Junior falls all the way back to 8th. Just over 100 to go here today at Texas. Cindric is trying to pull away from Briscoe over that last lap to lap and a half now as well. Man, oh man. Yes, AD22 announced that in the chat a little bit earlier. Michael, I think that was before you came in as well. That they had announced it earlier in the day. I had heard rumors of it a couple days prior on Eric Estep's channel and Out of the Groove, but outside of that, I really didn't see anything about it, like with the finalization of it today, until he mentioned something. But thanks. I'm not sure how that's going to run exactly. I mean, Ford obviously has been good. You look at the 2 best cars last year were both Fords. Both for Stewart-Haas and Penske as far as the Xfinity Series goes, so maybe that could be a good move. That was probably what they were thinking. You know, those guys combined won almost 15 races and a championship. So maybe they could have similar success. Obviously not going to win 9 races, but I mean, similar success as far as like maybe a point standings finish, who knows. In the long term, obviously, too, not necessarily next year. Yeah, typically the drivers pit at the end of the stage. It's like that in actual NASCAR too. The only time they wouldn't actually pit at the end of a stage, typically, is if a caution comes out right before the end of the stage, then you'll have some guys pit before. that don't necessarily need the points as much, so they can gain the track position when they start the final stage. And then you'll have some drivers that stay out to try and earn as many points as they can, because maybe they're in like a points situation where if it's in the playoffs, for instance, they're on the brink of elimination, so they'll probably, stay out and get every point they can get. So that's kind of the strategy that rolls into that. And the game pretty much plays it out the same way. We're halfway home here tonight. Jones almost chopped off Dale Jr. into 1 and 2. Jr. slides up in front of him. Really see that 19 car was way out of shape in 1 and 2. Still a lot of racing yet to go here in this one. But we are within the final stage. Spot for the championship 4 on the line. We saw Logano win the Cup race 3 days ago here at Texas. In dramatic fashion. Late race restarts pretty much all over the place. We had 4 cautions in the last 29 laps of the race. Logano is able to hang on for the majority of them. And now Junior to the outside of his teammate Annette for the lead. Might be going 3 wide into the corner. Trouble! Car on the wall. Chase Briscoe is around. Major championship implications again. With 99 laps to go, Briscoe is hard in the wall in 3 and 4. And Burton and Annette checked up. Junior went right up the middle to take the positions before the caution waved. So Burton, Annette, Jones will hit pit road. Back on the lead lap, running 10th. Great run for him. And I think Chase Briscoe is out of the race because he is staying out of the pits. Major problems for Briscoe. And that is, again, another playoff driver having to go through insurmountable odds here tonight. Quick update, by the way, on Ross Chastain. Well, I was looking for him. I missed him there. So Briscoe is done for the night. Major championship implication. He came in just about a dozen points above the cutoff line. Scored a lot of stage points, but that might not be good enough. Green flag back in the air with 95 to go, following our 3rd yellow of the race. What a move on the outside for Junior. From 4th, trying to get to 1st, but he can't quite clear the 22 of Cindric. Side by side for the race lead, down the back straightaway. Junior into 3 with the block. He has the lead. What a restart on the outside nonetheless, and not even from the front row as well for Dale Jr. And he's got the lead again here tonight at Texas. Cindric trying to hang on, but Michael Annett looks like he'll take 2nd place away with the fresher tires before long. Cindric really wanting that clean air back, though. If he could get back around Junior, that could help him a ton. Junior blocking down the back straightaway. Michael Annett now looks to the outside. Annette's got a huge run on the top. 3 wide for the lead. Cindric to the bottom. Junior sandwiched in the middle. Annett barely skips by on the outside to take the lead. What a move by Michael Annett. I know he had fresher tires, but even still, to take it 3 wide on the outside at Texas and make the move happen, clearing everybody off of 4, was very impressive. Junior all the way back to 3rd all of a sudden now. Brandon Jones trying to help him out. At least down the back straightaway, giving him a push. And Jones is trying to get around him for 3rd. What a race here tonight. Moves have been made. Passing not looking as difficult as you would typically see here at Texas after the reconfiguration. And Harrison Burton trying to get back in the picture again as well. Jones has a run on the top. So does Burton. Junior's got to let both cars go. He'll fade back to 5th now. I think Ryan Sieg's coming in hot here before long. Burton now underneath Jones. Looking now for 3rd place. Cindric slips up off the exit of 4. And Burton might get a 2-for-1 special here as he gets to the inside of Cindric for 2nd place at the line. Billy Kramer, welcome to the stream. We might have the race of the week on our hands at the same track as what we did last week, because it is shaping up to be that way so far. What a race. And not that many cautions. Again, only 3 for incident through the first half of the race. Shane Pinckney, welcome to the stream. 90 laps to go here at Texas. 13 likes right now indeed, and 13 people watching, so thanks for everybody hitting that like button. If you haven't already, please do so. It's been a fun race up to this point. This is one of those races I would definitely like the NASCAR YouTube community to see. And it helps with the algorithm of getting these videos recommended under other related NASCAR content on YouTube by simply just hitting that like button, watching the videos, watching the streams. It does help me out a ton. And I've noticed that we got to 700 subs pretty quickly here into 2021. And a lot of that, I'm sure, is you guys, me for putting up the content that you guys like, of course, but it all relates back to you guys watching it, because if nobody watched it, nobody hit the like button, we wouldn't be getting new viewers in, because the video and streams wouldn't be recommended at all. Still trying to get to 1,000 subs as well before the 1-year anniversary mark in about a month and a half still, so we've got a chance to get there. It's not looking as confident, but we're going to keep that goal alive as much as we can. Even if we get to that point, we're not at 1,000 up to that point yet. That's a pretty solid opening year of the channel, I'd have to say. We'll keep the grind on further into 2021, I'm sure of it. Got some race vlogs coming out this year, getting back to the track. I got to start getting my tickets really soon too, because especially for the races I plan on going at for like the first half of the year, because of COVID and being a partial crowd, I'm going to have to really hop on that quickly. I haven't bought anything for next year yet. Now, some of them have renewed and rolled over to next year for the races I missed last year, but like Nashville I wanted to go to this year, Dirt Bristol, and I heard Dirt Bristol sold out already too, as far as like the limited capacity, so I might have to go on StubHub and find something there. But I'll definitely try to get on that, that's for sure. It's not a pass for position for Junior on Herbst, but it is a pass for position as Junior gets around Austin Cindric through 3 and 4. Herbst back to the bottom, gets around both drivers. Junior trying to cross him over down the front stretch. Not going to happen. Herbst is the first driver lap down in 10th right now, so he's trying to get back on the lead lap. Junior just chops the nose off of Cindric in the center of the corner to hang on to 4th. Caution again. So we're starting to get a lot of cautions now. We've had 3 of them in the last 30 laps. 85 to go. This is our 4th caution of the night. Riley Herbst will get that free pass. Some drivers are pitting, some are staying out. The problem is, though, is that Dale Jr.'s only got 1 set of tires left, so he can't pit here. Remember, we have a tire limit in the Xfinity and Truck Series here on NASCAR Heat 5. 4 sets of tires, fresh sets, from the start of the race to the finish. Green flag back in the air for Annette. Burton didn't take off that well. Junior jumped to the outside. From 4th to 1st on the restart for the 2nd straight time for Dale Jr. What a move. That time he made it a lot more smoother too. He's only got 1 set of tires left though the rest of this race. And we still have 80 laps to go this time by. That was the problem with pitting here at the beginning of the stage for tires under the first caution, just for us to get another one within about 15 to 20 laps later. But we'll see. 80 to go here at Texas. And this is shaping up to be a wild one. And that's going to try to charge back and maybe get to the lead on his teammate again. Closes the gap. We've got guys on pressure tires trying to work their way up towards the front. That includes Ray Black Jr. and Jeffrey Earnhardt, who are now 3rd and 4th. What an upset they can pull off tonight. And Ray Black Jr. to the outside for 2nd now on Michael Annett. Jr. trying to block both lanes going off into turn 1. Watch out for the 07. as he tries to get his first career Xfinity Series victory. Same goes for Jeffrey Earnhardt. David Starr into the top 5 now. Where did he come from? He was a lap down about 20 laps ago. Got the free pass, got another quick yellow, and he's in the mix on fresher tires. Junior barely holds on to the lead off of 4. They're 3 wide now for about 4th on back. Look at the move up the middle by Austin Cindric. What a move. He got shot out of a cannon in turns 1 and 2. He passed almost 3 cars in the middle lane. Now he looks to the lead for the outside. Cindric's got the lead. Oh, contact off of 4. Junior gets tight. Cindric holds on to it. Huge checkup. Ryan Sieg now goes for 2nd. And Sieg's got the spot. Annette, Starr, side drafting each other for 4th down the back straightaway. 3 wide into the corner. Ray Block Jr. on the outside. David Starr to 3rd. What a run. Ray Block Jr. trying to shoot the 8 of Dale Jr. into turn 1. Now they're 3 wide there as well. Splitting the gap, and there is company for the lead, bumper to bumper, as Cindric trying to hold on to it on Ryan Sieg right now. Sieg was eliminated in the round of 12 of the playoffs. Still trying to fight for a top 10 points finish at the end of the year if he can do it. And obviously trying to go for that first career victory. Oh, that's unfortunate it got banned. I've had to fight a couple copyright claims on the channel for other videos I've uploaded, but luckily I got it situated out so I don't have like any strikes or anything on my channel. It was like back-to-back days I had something too. I was like, you gotta be kidding. Luckily I got them resolved and I didn't get a copyright strike for either one of them. And I got monetized again. Well, granted, obviously I'm not monetized anyway, so not like that necessarily mattered too much because I don't have 1,000 subscribers. Still want the content out there, obviously. I worked hard on those videos, you know. I'm not gonna just like let that time go to waste. Especially the one. The one took me like 2 days to videotape and edit and stuff. Ryan Sieg has just taken the lead going into turn 3 as he tries to go for his first career Xfinity Series victory here tonight at Texas. A little contact further back as they battle for 6th. 2 Junior Motorsport Chevrolets. Dale Jr. and Michael Annett battle. Annett loses a spot. What a race here tonight at Texas. That little bit tighter of a race car for Junior. He doesn't want to loosen it up anymore. But remember, he's only got 1 set of tires the rest of this race. He already blew a right front at the end of stage 1. That's why he's got heavy damage, and that's why he's just not able to keep up. He's still got pretty fair amount of long run speed, despite the fact that car's as damaged as it is, and he has led laps occasionally since. Wait till I get to the back straightaway, maybe. Yeah, that's also kind of why I opened up a Patreon account also about a month ago, just in case, because I shouldn't say just in case, but I've gotten comments, you know, like, oh, you need to have like a donation button. I tried to tell them that, you know, I'm not monetized yet. I need 1,000 subscribers, so That's why I opened up a Patreon. If you do want to support, you can for $3 a month. I already shout you guys out when I see you anyway in the chat, but I'll shout you out multiple times throughout the course of a full race live stream, specifically at the beginning, at the end, and then probably sometime in the middle as well, just for, you know, $3 a month, just, you know, giving me your donations, I guess, helping out me and the channel. And so that's the only way I can really receive donations. Obviously, it's not being monetized yet, so we're working on that. We're getting closer. Again, for being the opening year of the channel, again, I don't know exactly, you know, what this road is going to lead to. I've mentioned multiple times what my ultimate goal is with this channel, and that's what I want to achieve. And I guess I won't say I've necessarily made it until that is the case, but even still, like, if I could just get paid along the way out, you know, from YouTube, and getting enough subscribers way down the road, which I know it's going to take a while, but still, that's, you know, part of the grind, part of the want in me to do this, on top of just, you know, pleasing you guys, putting out the content, because that's enjoyable too. We just feed off of our positive energy, you know, night after night with these streams. Makes it a lot of fun. But yeah, I mean, if I could, like, do this full time, I mean, that'd be awesome. Not only that, but it would help further my chances of having a career in NASCAR with broadcasting someday, because I'd be able to focus on this full time and not have to focus 40 hours out of my week, you know, at another job. 40 plus hours, might I add, because I got put in overtime again this week. So I mean, it's one of those situations kind of like that, where if I just had 40 extra hours plus to myself just to, you know, work on this and, you know, do the things I want to do to help the channel. And no, I'm not going to use every 40 of those hours necessarily on the channel. You know, that'll give me more free time to maybe play an extra round of golf or two during the week that I don't already play. So I'm used to playing like 5-6 days a week. Maybe I'll start playing 7 days a week, you know, but just to work for yourself. Because it can definitely be hard depending on where your job status is. And I'm not one for job hopping, but I have had, it'll be 3 jobs starting next week, not this week, but next week, that I've had in the last like 3 or 4 months, just trying to find something that can work for a schedule for me to keep striving and doing this without being tired, you know, because of only getting 4 or 5 hours of sleep on a work night. Which luckily, thankfully, with this job, through this temp service, I'm able to at least get sleep, but at the same time, too, it's not the job I, you know, want for a while. I want to be able to find a full-time job that I can work at for however many years it's going to take to get this either YouTube thing worked out or a NASCAR broadcasting job worked out, whatever comes first, if not both. So that's pretty much the ultimate goal. Whether it takes me 6 months or 6 years, you know, working there, I'm willing to do it. That's why I want to find a job that I can, you know, obviously tolerate. The money's nice, and I can get the time off I need to still go to races. You know, not even like a lot of time off. You know, I just need to leave the day before the race, be there the day of the race, and come back the morning after. Like like if I just have, you know, 1 day off, I have to pick up a shift, you know, middle of the week, whatever. If I can get all that stuff, then that's the way I definitely enjoy my life a lot better if I could get something like that. Not that I don't already enjoy it, but it would make it a lot more enjoyable than my last couple jobs, not having that extra stress of, oh my gosh, you know, how much sleep am I going to get tonight, or, you know, oh, I had plans of going to this racetrack. Now all of a sudden I might not be able to go because work's not going to let me off at the last second. You know, that's where I've had to draw the line there. It's like, okay, listen, you guys said I can have off, and then all of a sudden, after everything's already booked, oh, we need you to work the day after that. I'm like, I can't just like leave when I'm already down there a day early when I have everything booked and stuff. That was my Talladega situation. That's another story for another day. That really took me. That was like the final straw at that place. I'm like, you know what? It's bad enough this happened, only going to 3 races, you know, this year. It's going to be even worse when I go to more next year, because I'm getting all these tickets renewed, and I'm not going to not get my money out of it and lose money off of it. So I was only getting, like I said, like 4 or 5 hours of sleep at the most Monday through Wednesdays because we were working 15 and a half hour shifts. It was just too much in one day for me, trying to balance it out. You guys could probably tell by the end of like Wednesday night streams, I was like slurring my speech a lot, like on those Wednesday night streams, like looking back on it. I didn't think too much of it at the time, but it was definitely tough. So Dale Jr. is going to have to pit in a couple laps here. Here's the situation. He's only got one set of tires left the rest of this race, and we have just less than 60 laps to go. 58 to be exact. He's running in third place right now. Cindric is leading this race, barely, but he is. Ray Black Jr. is in second. How much longer can Dale Jr. go? Ideally, he wants to make it to the end of the fuel run, but he might have to start backing off now in these corners to try and make it to about 50 to go, which is ideally where he wants to go with this one. Yeah, I quit my last job for, well, it was a situation of like they were gonna fire me too, because I came in, I was not getting enough sleep, so I was trying to get every last bit I could, and I went in late like three times in like a 3-month stretch, and that was enough for them to, you know, they were on the brink of firing me anyway. I'm like, I can't just like keep doing this, you know. Again, that was the line I drew, so I found a job through a temp service. They just kind of stuck me at this place, and I'm not even working the position I applied for, and it doesn't seem like I'm going to be either, so I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing this, so this isn't what I wanted either. Even though the hours were all right, I kind of had that feeling I wasn't going to be able to get time off that I needed this summer as well, so nah. But my friend got me into a Home Depot distribution. It's only like a half hour from where I work, or from where I live, so it's not only like 15 to 20 minutes closer of a drive than what I have had with these last 2 jobs, but you know, it's 10-hour shifts. It's only 4 days a week. According to him, overtime's never mandatory, so if I have an open week where I'm not traveling and I don't need the time off, I'll work the extra weeks or the extra days if I need. If I'm up late streaming one night, I'll decline the, you know, overtime. So I'm kind of working off my own schedule, other than the fact I do have to work Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, no matter what, except for those weeks I have off in the summer. Or not the full week, but you get the point. Like the Saturday before a race, basically. It's the only day I'll really need off in the summer. So Dale Jr. has really been backing it off here these last few laps. He's trying to make it one more lap. Really trying not to blow that right front tire. 53 laps to go at Texas. He couldn't make it to the 50 lap to go marker, but he got close. Only made it about 45 on the initial run in this race. We might get a couple more cautions, who knows. So Dale Jr. will be coming to pit road. 4-tire stop, full tank of fuel. Can't repair that damage, unfortunately. And no adjustments. The money stop, the final stop of the race for Dale Jr. He's just going to be able to make it on fuel. It'll be about 4 laps to the good. Yeah, exactly. See, that's the problem. Like, yeah, I live, like, pretty close to Toledo, generally speaking, but like I live in a small town, so there's not too many like job opportunities for me unless I have to drive like a half hour plus. So my last 2 jobs, I've had to drive anywhere between 40 to 50 minutes to work, and it sucked in the winter. This winter has been a little bit worse than the last 2, so I haven't had to worry about it as much the last couple years. Like maybe 3 times the whole winter we actually had bad enough storms that it took me over an hour to get to work, but I mean, this year we've already had like 3 or 4 days that have, you know, already that I've been really close to being late, if not a couple minutes late, because I've had to drive well over an hour drive time because I can only go like 40, 45 miles an hour, even though it's mostly highway. So yeah, definitely trying to get on the right foot here in 2021 with hopefully Home Depot distribution works out, which I really think it will. So I'm excited to start there next week. I only got one more week at this other job. I'll be getting a lot more sleep, on work nights, and we'll be able to stream still, and I'll be able to do the things I want to do for the channel. So seems like they've got full support. Man, Chad Fincham blocking it up right there off of turn 2 on Dale Jr. That's enough talking about that, though. We need to get down to business here as we have about 50 laps to go. And yes, by the way, I am reading your stuff there, Sane President. But seems like you and I have a lot of similar paths with our workplace experience here lately. Austin Cindric leads. Dale Jr. is a lap down right now, and boy, he needs this to go caution-free and have these guys hit pit road under green flag conditions. Jr.'s got the freshest tires on the racetrack, and he's really trying to save his tires as much as he can. He needs to go 52 laps this run. That is 7 laps further on these tires than what he's been able to make it in any other run in this race. Might get a couple cautions that could help him. The problem with the cautions, though, is that he can't pit again. Other guys probably can for tires. That will be costly for him. He's already got damage that's slowing him up on the right side of his race car, and it's been since about 80 to go since he's even led a lap, but that's only because of the restarts. He's led laps pretty much since stage 2 on. He hasn't actually led laps outside of strategy, either staying out or just getting good jumps on the restarts. Since the end of stage 1, he won, again, blew that right front tire, crossing the line, and hit the outside wall in doing so. All right, that'll be a lot easier. When we get those longer names of viewers, and they're not actual names, it's a lot harder to call it. So I tried to just call it by the channel name. But all right, Elias. I'll just call you Elias. It's a little easier for me to remember. Junior just brushed the wall getting into turn 1. That's not going to help either. He needs to really take care of that right front tire especially. Again, every other tire should be fine. But you can't pit for tires at the end of the race, so it's turned into a wild one. Good run for Ross Chastain. I know it's 22nd and he's multiple laps down, but just remember that he blew a tire 20 laps into the race and was 3 laps down in 34th. I don't think he's gotten any of those laps back, but he's at least trying to salvage every point he can have. He already had one playoff driver fail to finish this race of Chase Briscoe, who will finish outside the top 30. So he's already worked his way past one of those guys. Maybe he can get another 1 or 2 to have a problem here today or at Martinsville, and he could point his way in still. But as of right now, again, he was 24 points back coming into the night. He's likely still going to be in a must-win situation, but he's trying to help himself out as much as he can. Plus, Junior short pitted. So if we do make it to the end of this fuel run, you're looking at Junior probably being the race leader on Austin Cindric. He was about 5.5 to 6 seconds off the lead when he came to pit road after backing it off for about 3 to 4 laps before he came in trying to nurse it and take the run as far as he could. Colby Howard in 21st. Just talked about him at the beginning of the night. Still got 11 people watching, 15 likes right now. We are getting down to business here today at Texas. Nearly 40 laps to go in this race. And it should come down to the wire. Whether it's because of tires for Dale Jr. or if it's just simply because of the racing itself. He's got about 79% on that right front. He's not backing it off early right now. He's trying to really take that advantage with those fresher tires. And we have a caution. With 43 to go, caution is out. And Junior was a lap down because he short pitted. He had to pit because he stayed out under the last caution. And we were probably within a couple laps of everybody else coming to pit road, but the yellow flag will wave now for the 5th time tonight. And unfortunately for Dale Earnhardt Jr., he's going to have to take the wave around. He's going to be the last driver on the lead lap. Riley Herbst will get the free pass in 9th. So Jr. will have to take the wave around, plus he's on older tires still. And he's got heavy damage on his car, so it might be a miracle to win this race at this point. Tim Irvin, welcome to the stream. So we'll have 10 cars on the lead lap. Not sure who brought that caution out, but again, that's the 5th of the night for incident. And the green flag will be back in the air again. Ryan Sieg will lead the field to the green, winning the race off of pit road. 38 laps to go at Texas. Now that will help Junior with his right front. Problem is, these guys are on fresher tires, and again, Junior's got a damaged race car. It is going to be tough for him to win this race here tonight. He might need another caution late and hope for other drivers not to pit or something. Just past Riley Herbst for position on the restart for 9th. Herbst has fresher tires, though, so he'll probably get around him eventually once the field starts to space out after a couple laps after this restart. Riley Herbst all over the back of Dale Jr. Junior's kind of backing off the corners a little bit at the beginning of this run. Because if we get another caution late, he's going to have to send it. But he's got to keep pace enough to at least stay on the lead lap. And with these older tires, those guys are going to be coming in on him pretty hot after so long. Yes, I know, gaming cereals are pretty expensive. Mine was about $100. I think the original price was like $125. I got like 10% off or something like that, or 15% off, something like that on Amazon when I bought it. But this wheel's, I mean, I bought it when NASCAR Heat 2 came out, so, I mean, it's going on about 3.5, 4 years old already. Hard to believe, but for myself. But it's worked for me ever since. Rarely have issues with it. It's a dependable wheel for the PS4 if you're a beginner or something. Definitely the way to go. Which at the time I had not like used the wheel, but I have a racing background. Obviously, this isn't an exact simulation, obviously, but not like iRacing, but still works, that's for sure. And it's accurate, or about as accurate as a console game could be. Wow, Junior got really tight, and he's trying not to overturn the wheel as much as he can as well, so that's probably some of it. See. Fell back to 10th about a lap and a half ago. Herbst got right back around him. Can Ryan Sieg hold on to win his first career race here tonight and pull off an upset? He's got playoff drivers all around him. Briscoe was at the front earlier. He crashed out, but we still have Austin Cindric, Michael Annett, Harrison Burton all at the front of the field. Any one of those three can win and advance into the championship 4 here tonight. But a win by Junior or a non-playoff driver, somebody that was eliminated in the round of 12, and they will have to fight another day at Martinsville. And again, that race is on Wednesday night with the rescheduling of our streams this week because of our controller wanting to stick on NASCAR Thunder 04, so that's why we're not racing that tonight like we were originally supposed to. For those of you that might have missed the start of the stream when I announced it. I got the, I didn't have to actually pay for the DLCs. Whenever they came out, I just basically had to go into the PlayStation store and I would buy it and it would already be for free. I had the code because I bought the Gold Edition. I got the Gold Edition last year as well for Heat 4, so it's kind of nice. It's actually cheaper in the long run, even though the game is like, what, 10 to 20 bucks more expensive initially, but it's better than having to pay like 10 bucks for every DLC or whatever it ends up being in the long run. So it's more upfront, but you're making up for it if you keep the game just after simply 2 or 3 months. Remember Daniel Hemrick when he started on the pole and went 2 laps down by the end of stage 1, he's still back in 23rd. 30 laps to go though here today at Texas. Junior really trying to save his tires as much as he can here on this final run having to go 52 laps. No, 49 as far, or sorry, 48 now as far as green flag laps are concerned, but he has only made it as far as 45 laps as far as green flag runs go on a set of tires tonight. This is his final set, so he can't pit again. Everybody else already on fresher tires, so maybe that's another reason he has to save. And pretty much right now, he's just going to save, and hope for a late race caution, and maybe he can do something with it. It also, obviously, again, doesn't help. He's got heavy damage on the right side of the car. He is running down Riley Herbst for ninth, though. As far as the fuel goes, that caution's really going to help Junior. He was looking to be about 2 to 3 laps to the good anyway. That caution saved him about 3 to 4 more laps. So now we can go to overtime and he'll be good to the finish. Oh, Junior might have to start turning the wheel a little bit more. Now that he's getting later into the run, the tires aren't gripping up as much as they were. But he still clears Riley Herbst, who was on the outside, and Junior's back into ninth. Again, we've only had 5 cautions per incident all night long. Looked like we were going to have a lot more the way the end of Stage 2 went, the beginning of Stage 3 went, but then we had a long green flag run of about 40 to 45 laps. Not sure how that came to be there, Elias. Well, Pocono being a bigger track than Nazareth, they could fit more seats, and that was kind of the thing with the mid to late 90s into the early 2000s. That's why there were so many mile-and-a-halfs and bigger on the schedule all of a sudden instead of short tracks, because you could fit more people there. When NASCAR was in its boom period, they were drawing in, upwards of 200,000 people for, a regular race like at Michigan or something like that. So that's kind of the reason they went that direction, and that probably ultimately led to the shutdown of Nazareth, just like it did with other racetracks like North Wilkesboro, and the list kind of goes on and on as far as those tracks are concerned, unfortunately. We're starting to head back into that direction, though, as far as, more short tracks on the schedule, and at least full seating capacity. Yes, it's not the same amount of seating capacity, but just the eye look, or the eye test of, looking at a full crowd at a track. They're still bringing in 60 to 80,000 people typically for, a standard cup race, even at Michigan, which usually has a pretty good crowd turnout. There's a lot of NASCAR fans up north. So that obviously helps too. .23 to go at Texas. Junior's about a half a lap off the lead. Ryan Sieg about to hit lap traffic here in a couple laps. Junior just under 50% on that right front as far as the tire wear goes. Allgaier hasn't had a good day. I haven't talked about him much. He was just outside the cut line coming into the day. I don't think he scored any stage points, and he's running 15th right now. But problems with Briscoe and Chastain might be able to save him at least a little bit coming into this race. Junior's still about 4.5 seconds even behind the 8th place car of David Starr right now. So Junior's just really banking on a caution at this point. There'll be less green flag laps he has to run on those tires as well. It would bunch everything back together, and then he can go hard to the finish from there. Well, it was probably a Busch Series race, and he was actually really, really good in the Busch Series. A lot of people forget he won back-to-back championships in the mid-2000s. Running for DEI, I believe, in the Busch Series at the time. Obviously now known as Xfinity Series, but He's always been a pretty solid driver, just never really had the equipment until Furniture Row. Did all of a sudden jump to the top they had once alliancing themselves with JGR a handful of years back. Yeah, it could be true, but as far as like from what I've heard from you guys though, specifically you, Michael, that Nazareth isn't in the greatest of shape. It'd probably take a lot of money to like restructure, rebuild everything. Obviously, they probably have to repave it too, I'd have to imagine. So it would take a lot of money to go into a track like that. Same thing goes for North Wilkesboro. Obviously, North Wilkesboro is in a lot worse shape. I actually got the opportunity to go to the Speedway in 2019. The weekend I went to the Roval, I went to North Wilkesboro, went to check it out for myself because I figured, oh, it's an abandoned track. It's a well-known racetrack. Put on some great racing here in NASCAR's heyday up until the mid-90s. And luckily enough, I highly recommend if you go there, don't just sneak onto the track. The guy that actually is the caretaker of the racetrack lives like right there. You're basically in his driveway when you drive up to the track. So I drove up there, and he was actually already outside because there was a father with his kid that was actually there and pulled in basically a couple minutes in front of me. So he had already knocked on the door. But I highly recommend just knock on the door, ask if you want to take a look at the track. He'll start talking stories with you about like back in the day, how everything was and stuff at the racetrack, and pretty much without even asking. So that's pretty cool. I highly recommend if you're going through like Charlotte area or northern North Carolina area, checking it out. But again, just make sure you let the caretaker know, because otherwise you can be prosecuted for trespassing if you don't, and if he catches you or anybody else catches you. So it's not worth the risk, but I spent probably about a half hour, 45 minutes there just walking around the racetrack. It's sad to see it in that kind of shape, but it was kind of cool at the same time too, because I wasn't even born yet when they had their last race there, so it was pretty cool to at least see the track, and me traveling to different NASCAR tracks, even if that track isn't on the schedule again. At least I could say I was there, even if it wasn't for a race. I couldn't tell who that was exactly, but somebody pulled onto pit road with an engine failure, it looked like. Ryan Sieg has lost the lead as well. Harrison Burton is now out in front. Not sure, it was a lap car of some sort that had that engine issue, or maybe a tire going down. Either way, car up in smoke, makes it to pit road, but we stay green here today at Texas. And Junior has been picking up the pace about the last 5 to 10 laps. He is not saving anymore. 14 laps to go. He can put it all on the line, but he's about 11 seconds off the lead. Can Harrison Burton get his 4th win of the season and clinch himself into the championship 4? Oh, right into the back of Fincham. That's going to slow Junior up too. 13 to go. Junior might have been saving a little too much before trying to run these guys down, but he's still on older tires. He is a little bit faster than the race leader, but he was only 0.2 of a second faster that last lap. Now, granted, he did have contact with Fincham off of 4, so he probably could have been a little bit faster than that, but we'll see. Lap car in the way of Ray Black Jr. Dale Jr. just gets to the outside. He brushes the wall a little bit. It's going to wear the right sides off a little bit more now. 12 to go. But he does move to 7th. Full throttle through 3 and 4 for Junior this time. He is really pushing that car hard. Still going to hope for a caution in these final 11 laps. That's his only shot to win it. Junior has won back-to-back races coming into this one today as well. 17 people watching. 16 likes. Hit the like button. If you are watching, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. We are in the final 10 laps here at Texas. Possibly shaping up for something wild. We've seen wild racing all day long. Might end this thing with about a 39-lap green flag run to the finish, but you never know. The Junior just passed Jeffrey Earnhardt for 6th. I mean, he is moving, but it's going to be too little, too late. Just might have been saving just a little bit too long. He probably started, or could have started a couple laps prior to when he did, to actually starting to run full speed again around this racetrack instead of trying to save the tires. And if he ends up losing this race by a couple seconds, that might end up costing him. Oh boy. Junior about got into the back of Colby Howard there as well and really had to check up. %19 on the right front. Well, maybe Junior did start to go at the right time. Maybe he didn't even save enough. Who knows? Lap traffic's definitely playing a factor right now as well. How much of a factor is it playing on Harrison Burton? Junior's about 7.5 seconds off the lead with 7 to go. Continuing to try and push hard. Junior to the inside of Jones, down the front stretch. Almost went into the grass. Jones tried to pinch him down low. But Junior takes over the 5th spot. And he's not far behind 4th and 3rd. Cindric and Annette within about a second ahead of him. Junior's not worried about managing tire wear right now, I can tell you that much. He is hustling. And he has really saved his tires pretty well. He had about 10 to 15 lap older tires at the beginning of the run. And again, plus the damage, but he was really sitting back for a long time. To the outside into 1 to try and pass Cindric. He's got it. Now to the inside of Annette. I think he's going to clear him off of turn 2. Junior is up to 3rd. 5 seconds off the lead with about 4.5 laps to go. Sieg is about a second off the race leader. Harrison Burton. The thing is, though, Burton doesn't have any more lap traffic, at least for the next couple laps in front of him. Will we stay green to the finish? Fuel plenty good to the end. The tires are the only concern for Junior. And can he run down the top 2? It's really all going to depend on this lap traffic that Burton's going to close in on with about a lap and a half to 2 laps to go, I'd have to imagine, when he catches them. Might be setting up for a wild finish here at Texas. And does Ryan Sieg have a shot to spoil the party as well? Great corner into 1 and 2 there for Junior. Just cleared Justin Haley in time. 8% on the right front. Tell you what, we go to overtime and have to run more laps than the scheduled distance. I don't know if that right front's going to make it for Junior. Two laps to go at Texas Motor Speedway. Burton just less than 3 seconds ahead of Dale Jr. Heavy lap traffic right in front of him really slowed Burton down quite a bit off of turn 2. And Ryan Sieg is now less than a second off the lead. Junior's got to change his line. Balicki got in his way in 3 and 4. Will there be enough time for either Sieg or Junior to catch Harrison Burton? The white flag is in the air. 1 lap to go. I think Burton's got enough of a lead. Just over a second now with a half a lap to go. Junior will be driving it in hard into turns 3 and 4 for second place at least as he goes high. Lap car's not in Harrison Burton's way. Checkered flag in the air. Harrison Burton has just punched himself a ticket to the championship 4. Photo finish for second at the line. And Harrison Burton gets his 4th win of the season. And he'll have a shot at the championship next week at Phoenix. What a run for Harrison Burton. Taking the lead away from Ryan Sieg in the closing final 20 laps of the race and hanging on to win it by about a second. Sieg hangs on to finish second by a nose over Dale Jr. And was Jr. sitting back just a lap or two too long to be able to catch him, because I think the right front was going to make it an extra lap. I don't know if it would have made it 2 laps, but that was a tough way to go out, that's for sure. We'll take a look at the finishing results today. Harrison Burton, he had a solid points day as well. He won stage 2 as well, though winning the race most importantly. He will be in the championship 4 at Phoenix next week. He will not have to worry about Martinsville. Sieg again finished second. Junior third. Junior won stage 1, had that blown tire. Obviously, that hindered his progress at the end of the race, as you saw there as well, with the damage still on the car from that point. He couldn't repair it because we were over the 5-second damage clock that we have on the channel. He was also having to conserve his tires that last run because we were on our final set of tires as well. But unfortunately, Junior could not get the win. But he won at Kansas in the last race in dominating fashion that he was able to get a spot in the championship 4. So just 2 spots remain when we go into Martinsville on Wednesday night. Austin Cindric brings it home 4th. Michael Annett brings it home to round out the top 5. Both of those drivers having solid points days. And Cindric was barely above the cutoff line. Annett was barely below it. We have problems with other playoff drivers we'll get into here in a second. Brandon Jones finishes 6th, followed by Jeffrey Earnhardt, Ray Black Jr., David Starr, and Riley Herbst rounds out the top 10. 10 drivers finished on the lead lap today. And we had 1 hour and 39 minutes total time on today's race. Other playoff drivers that finished outside the top 10, Justin Allgaier had a quiet day. No stage points and finished 15th. That's rough for him. He came in just below the cutoff line. Great rally today by Ross Chastain, finishing 18th. The reason why I say that, he blew a tire 20 laps into today's race and had to come from behind. He was 3 laps down, still finished 3 laps down, so he had pretty good speed. And as other cars are getting lapped and DNFing throughout the course of the day, he was at least able to go halfway through the field and save himself about 18 extra points. That could be what he needs to get into the championship 4 if it comes down to it at the end of Martinsville in less than 48 hours. Josh Bilicki, 19th, and the only other playoff driver that finished outside the top 10 was Chase Briscoe. He got into an accident midway through the race, right there at the beginning of stage 3, as you see there, just past the halfway mark, and Briscoe had a single car accident. I think he blew a tire, hit the outside wall head on in 3 and 4. His day came to an end. He will only score 2 points for his finishing position today, though he did score a lot of stage points, both in stage 1 and stage 2, so we'll have to see how he will round it out. The only 3 DNFs were Landon Castle, Briscoe, and we saw CJ McLaughlin blow an engine early in stage 2 as well. So again, doing the points myself, because of the game crashing throughout the course of the season, I had to do the points myself to get the accurate point standings, but I can confirm, again, Harrison Burton was in the round of 8, so he will advance in the championship 4 with a win today, and Dale Jr. is also in the championship 4 with a win at Kansas. So it will come down 6 drivers battling for 2 spots on Wednesday night, and trust me, it will be a lot of fun here in this one. And for Harrison Burton, what a season he has had. What a playoffs he's had. He won a race in the last round. He wins a race in this round now. Harrison Burton's riding quite a bit of a hot streak going into the championship race next week. Thanks for everybody watching tonight. Like, share, but most importantly, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Hit that like button down below if you enjoyed the race, the commentary, the video in general. Helps out with the YouTube algorithm as well. Next full race live stream will be tomorrow night on NASCAR Heat 5. At Martinsville for the Truck Series. I believe start time will be at 8. Yes, we'll go with that. So 8 p.m. Eastern Standard start time for tomorrow's truck race at Martinsville. It'll be the penultimate race, the final race of the round of 8. We'll crown our championship 4. We know we're already in it ourselves, driving as Matt Crafton, but we'll see who those other drivers are that can lock themselves in as well. It's been a fun night here. So far, at least early going in this week, this is the race of the week, but that could obviously change. We have a bunch of great action coming up here later this week, every night, as always, with these full race live streams with a realistic broadcast. Hopefully, guys, again, enjoyed. Have a good rest of your night, and I'll see you tomorrow at 8.